Hi, it's Karen Kleinworth. I'm really excited to be here today with you, coming live from the Successful Women's Entrepreneurs Group inside of Facebook. We are guided and mentored by Star Hodge. This is her group, and she has granted me the ability and the opportunity to come to you every Wednesday at 2 o'clock in the afternoon to do a live skills training, to give you hands-on tangible exercises to support you in growing a thriving and flourishing business. Today, we're going to be talking about you meeting your perfect client or your ideal client. So it's going to be a fun exercise, and I'm grateful to be here. I'm glad you're here with us. All right, I'm just making sure that, yes, I've got it on my phone. This is where I'm going to be watching for comments when you're here. If you are showing up, let me know by just commenting live. If you're watching the replay, let me know by commenting replay as well. As we go along, we are going to allow you, there's going to be questions for you to basically post, and I will try and respond to those. So who am I and what are we going to be doing today? So for the last 18 plus years, I have been coaching and mentoring and consulting small businesses and startups through all different phases. And I bring a unique approach of the mind, body, spirit. What does that mean? It means body through craniosacral therapy, spirit through the form of Reiki as a Reiki master teacher, and then the mind is through the coaching piece. So we use an integrated approach in all of our sessions. And we are going to try and replicate that in these weekly trainings. So my goal, my intention is that we will be coming live every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern, and I hope you join us. If you have a topic or an idea or something that you would like me to focus on, please drop me a DM and let me know, and I would be happy to see how we can integrate that into it. So first, thanks to Star. I'm super excited to be here. I'm nervous, I'm going to be honest. Like this is big. This is like I had to really kind of step in and out of my comfort zone. I've been doing live trainings for the last 18 plus months within my own group, but this is the first time in this group. So you are a new audience, you are a new platform, so which makes me, hi Nicole, makes me kind of, ooh, I'm out of my comfort zone. So we're going to be doing this. You're going to be walking through this live. My intention when I come live is you're going to get the real me. It's going to be authentic. This is not scripted. I have a topic. Yes, I have cheat sheets to make sure I stay on topic and that I can walk you through properly. But this is really life unscripted as a small business owner working from home. There may be weeks where you're going to hear my four-legged doorbell go off, and we're going to have to take a brief moment while she calms down. You might find my two teenagers. One of them might walk in and need me unexpectedly, right? So this is what it means. We wear all these different hats, but in the end, we need to show up. We need to stay consistent. And that's my goal with you guys here, is to provide these skills training so it's hands-on and it's immediately applicable. So with that, just like the title says, we're going to meet that ideal or perfect client. And in my post yesterday, I actually titled it Meet Your Perfect Client. And somebody called me out on that verbiage, like perfect, like nobody's perfect. And I was like, you're right. Nobody is perfect. So we are going to be imperfectly perfect through these trainings. And I can't wait for you to join me and move along as we go through these different exercises. Today, we are meeting that perfect client, that ideal client. It's one of those things that as a small business owner, we really need to know who we're talking to. Everything we do regarding our brand, our business development, our social media marketing, we all need to talk to this person, right? We need to talk to this ideal client. And sometimes they're aloof and we are like, I don't know who they are. How do we find them? How do we speak to them? So I thought today we would do an interesting exercise, an exercise that maybe some of you have done before, maybe not. I have an inkling you haven't done it before. So if you're ready, we're going to get started on the exercise. My intention is to keep these trainings to less than 30 minutes just because I want to honor your time, because I know it's important, but also give you hands-on experience and skills, something to take away. Okay, so the exercise. We are going to learn how to make an emotional connection with that perfect client, and then what we're going to use it for and how we're going to use it. So we're going to use the analogy of making a meal. So as of right now, what I'd like you to do, if you're multitasking, awesome, listen in. If you are solely focused on us, that's even better. So I'm going to ask you right now to think of a person in your mind, your favorite person. Who is that? I know who I would be visualizing, but who are they? They could be a parent, a sibling, they could be an aunt or uncle, they could be your favorite neighbor or a child. Who is that favorite person? When you think of them, you get that warm and fuzzy feeling, and you just feel so comfortable around them. They're your favorite person. Who is that? Do you have them in your mind? Good. So now what you're going to do is you've invited them over for dinner and you're going to make their favorite meal. It's a one-pot meal, and you're going to be making this meal specifically for them. And you know them so well that you know exactly what you're going to do. You know exactly what the meal is. So to start, you have this empty pot in front of you. What do you start with? If we start with the base of it, is it a soup? Is it chicken, beef broth, a veggie broth? Is it red? Is it a cream sauce? What is your base for this meal? Do you have it? Okay. I have my pot, I have my base in it. I know exactly who this person is, and I know exactly what they like when they're thinking of their favorite meal. So from there, you need to add a protein, right? It's healthy. So what's the protein? You know them. You know exactly what kind of protein that they love. Is it a tofu? Is it beef, chicken, pork, or plant-based? Maybe it's a seafood. But what is that protein that they love? You know it. You're going to add it into your meal. The next is the carbs, right? It's got to be balanced. So with the carbs, what are you adding? A veggie? Is it root? Is it a leafy? Some meals, one pot will include fruit, right? So with that, from next, we are going to be adding the seasoning. Remember, you know this person. You know exactly what they like. You know everything about them. You know what makes them tick. You know what makes them feel good. So with your meal, you're adding a seasoning. What kind of seasoning are you adding? Are you adding herbs, spices? Will it be savory or will it be sweet? Perhaps there'll be a tartness to it. What's the seasoning that's going to go into this favorite meal? Thinking about it. You're preparing this. We prepare our meals with love, right? We infuse it. What makes the difference between your mother's making the recipe and you making the exact same recipe? It's the love, the element that is unique to you. This is your emotional insertion into this amazing meal for this amazing person. They're your favorite person, right? You're making this something so scrumptious that they can't wait to try it. So now you're ready to serve it. And they're there at the table. You take the meal and you bring it to them. What do they say? What's the look on their face? What is their body language? Are they like, oh my God, this is amazing. I can't wait to try it. This is so good. Thank you. This is exactly what I needed. Oh, my belly was rumbling for this. This is the solution. This is what I needed to fill my tummy. Thank you. Right? They're gracious. They're grateful. And they're so happy that you did this for them. That what do? They get to leave and they get to tell their family and their friends and say, oh my God, you should have seen this meal. It was amazing. She poured so much love and energy into it. It was like she knew exactly what I wanted. It was like she was in my head. And she said, I know what they need. I'm going to prepare a meal that fills that need. So do you feel that connection? Can you see them in front of you? What does their grace and gratitude look like? What does it make you feel like? How do you feel watching them receive this meal consume it, eat it, enjoy it. How are you feeling? What's that emotion? Are you filled with pride? Do you feel empowered? Do you feel like, yes, I did it? Right? You want to be screaming from the rooftops, I did it. I solved what they needed. I filled that hole. So I want you to think of that emotion. I want you to hold that emotion, that connection. I want you to think about this favorite person and this meal and the emotions that they felt when they received it and used it, consumed it, and the emotion you felt when you gifted it to them, when you gave it to them, when you provided it to them. You get to feel something. You get to take that away. And it fuels you to continue to do more, to create more, to connect with others. Who else can you cook a meal for? You have the feeling? Do you have that emotional connection? I want you to remember it. You ready? Because now we're going to hit the rewind button. We're going to go back to the beginning. And instead of visualizing that favorite person, have in mind that perfect client, that ideal client, the person you want to serve, that you want to provide a solution to. You're going to create something for them, just for them. So what is it? So for this part of the exercise, we're going to use a couple of different examples. So we'll use from a product base as if we're a candle maker. And then if we are service-based, we're going to use it as if we're a coach. So as a candle maker, what's your base? Remember, this is the beginning. So are you going to use a soy wax? Are you going to use a beeswax? What's the base of your candle? If you're a coach, what's the basis of your program? Are you a life coach, a career coach, a health coach? What does that base look like? Because remember, you know exactly who you're going to be serving when they sit down at your table. So you know exactly what they're looking for. What is their favorite wax? What is the need that they're trying to fill from a life or career perspective or a health? Now next, remember, it was our protein, where we added that beef or chicken. And in these examples, it's the scent. So is it floral? Is it fruity or woodsy? As a candle maker, what is the favorite scent of your client? As a coach, what is it? Is it goal setting? Is it time management? Is it stress management? What's that piece that they need support with, that they need to build themselves with, right? Because build the protein building block. So what is that? What is it? What is that? So you have your base. You know exactly what it is they need. You're going to build on it with that protein. So the scent or the goal setting, time management, stress management. Think about for yourself and where you're at. The next, that was the carbs where we added veggies and fruit, right? And you had to decide root, leafy, because you knew that favorite person and what they like most. And the same with your client. So as a wax candle maker, what container are you going to put it in? Is it glass? Is it a metal, ceramic? What kind of container is going to suit this person the best, that they want, that they need, that they desire? As a coach, what are the additional services that you're going to add in? Are there going to be workshops? Is it going to be group? Is there going to be products? What are the additional pieces to your program that you're going to add in? Because remember, you know them and you know what they need. Finally, we had the seasoning, right? Herbs and spices. And in this instance, from a candle perspective, what kind of wick are you going to use? How long is the burn time? As a coach, are you going to be supportive? Is it a directive program? What are the additional pieces to it? This is where your branding comes in, right? Your colors, the icons, the imagery. You know exactly what this ideal client needs and feels and is looking for. And you're going to meet them exactly where they are. So now you've not only just made a meal for your favorite person, but you've created your product and your service for that ideal client. Because remember that emotional connection you had with the meal and your favorite person? It's the same emotional connection you want with that ideal client. So infusing yourself in love with the product and service that you're making and creating and developing, it can only come from you. You are unique. You're bringing your own piece to it, your own experience, your own twist and turns to your program or your products. So with that, take a look at that client. When they see your product, they see your service, they're going to have the same reaction. Oh my gosh, she was in my head. She knew exactly what I was looking for. This is the solution I've been wanting, that I've been needing, and I didn't even know I needed it. So when we dive into knowing who our ideal client is, we need to kind of go through these steps to be able to say, I know them so well that I know them better than themselves. But what it means is you have to do the work. You have to dive in and do some discovery. You have to understand where they reside geographically and on the internet. You have to understand the words that they use, the language they use. What are the keywords they're searching for? When we talk about pain points, when we talk about creating products and services and how they respond to that and how be the solution for that. So with this meal you've created, this product, this service, how is it solving the pain point, the challenge that your client might be looking for a solution? So at this point, you've made that emotional connection, you've done the work. So I would love it if you would share. Do you have the meal in mind? Share the meal in the comments, even if you're live or if you are watching the replay, post in the comments, what was the meal you made for that favorite person? For me, my favorite person, it would have been my dad, and his favorite meal is spaghetti. And not just any spaghetti, but like leftover spaghetti. So the meal I'd be serving him wouldn't be what I made today. He'd want it the next day. For whatever reason, that was his thing. That was his favorite meal, right? So for you, what was the favorite meal? Share with us. So Nicole is saying beef tacos with potatoes for my dad. Yeah, right? Awesome. That sounds delicious. So now think about your client. What is it? What is the product or service that you have that speaks to your perfect client, to that ideal client? Thinking of your products or your services, what is it? Share with us. If you are in the idea stage, you may not have a specific product or service in place yet. And that's okay, because you can use this exercise to kind of dig in and say, what would my product be? What is the pain or the need that my client or my potential clients have that I can solve? What's my expertise? What do I have that's different, that's unique? So for me as a business coach, my uniqueness is the fact that I'm a pioneer in the holistic coaching industry. 18, 19 years ago when I started, most people didn't even know what Reiki was or cranial sacral. So I spent 95, 96% of my time educating people. And then once they realized and they experienced it, it was mind-blowing for them. And it still is when we start looking at that integrated approach. It's unique, it's different. So what's unique? What's different about you? What do you bring to the table for your industry that's different? And this may not be the whipped cream on top of that dessert. It might be the soy or the beeswax. in your candle. You might have to dig deep and look deeper. So with that, do you have any questions? Do you have any input, any thoughts? So this is the time where I would love to answer questions that put me on the spot, as I tell my own group, put me in the hot seat, ask me questions. I will do my best to answer. If I don't have an answer right now, then I will look to it and get back to you. And sometimes there's a delay. Like I'm looking at my phone for comments, and sometimes there's a delay between what I see on my computer screen and what I see on my phone. So I will give you guys a few minutes if you want to comment. If you don't, that's okay too. So, like I said, these are going to be every week. My intention is 2 p.m. Eastern every Wednesday that I will come live. There will be a few weeks that obviously that I won't, major holidays like Thanksgiving, Christmas, July long weekend, those types of things, right? So if you have a topic that you would love for us to dive into, please let me know. I would love to be able to consider it and figure out how we can work it into the schedule. If you have feedback, I would love to hear that too. And if you're watching the replay, please comment the meal and what product or service that you're thinking of when you finish the exercise. Today, my intention also is not to leave you empty-handed. And my goal is not to be a talking head, which is why I watch for the comments, because I will interact with you as you comment. And I don't want you to leave empty-handed. So I do have a gift for each of you, and I will put the link in the comments. And it's going to be an avatar alignment. It's a workbook, and it's going to walk you through getting to know your clients better, knowing what words they use, what key phrases, where they live, the basics, demographics, but even deeper of right down to the emojis. What are their favorite emojis they use, right? Because again, you want to attract them. And if you're using the emojis they use, then that would be perfect, right? So let's see here. I am going to grab that URL and I'm going to come over here and see where I should be able to make a comment here. Okay, so there's the link to the free workbook for the avatar alignment. So you just need to fill out and you'll be able to receive that. It'll come in an email to you. With that, let's see. Oh, we are also going to unlock our Black Friday specials early for you guys. And with that, there will be a discount code you will need. So let's see here. I will type it down here. Am I there yet? Okay. So remember when I said you're going to kind of get the authentic me, you're going to get this non-scripted piece. This is where we do that. You get to follow along as I look down and type my URLs out. All right, so let's see. So that's the URL you need to go to for the Black Friday special. And then the discount code you need to use is, let's see. And I wrote it down so I wouldn't forget. All right, and that's the discount code. Oh, I don't want to capitalize. Hang on a second. We go. All right, so there we go. So that's the discount code to receive the early Black Friday special. It's available for you guys. I'm seeing other people have just joined us. Thank you for joining us. We just walked through an exercise, getting to know and meeting that perfect ideal client. And we did an analogy to as if you were making your favorite meal for your favorite person. So it was a fun exercise. So if you watch the replay, you'll be able to walk through that as well. At this point, just checking back in, is there any other questions? Any new questions? Again, we're going to be doing this every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern, and I will put together an advance notice so you'll be able to kind of follow along what will be coming. I'll let you guys know the day before. So, and again, I want to honor our time. So I'm going to try and keep it to 30 minutes. And we are coming up on that now. So if there's no other questions, then I will call it a day. And I thank you all for being here. Again, I thank Star for allowing me to do this every week with you guys and to bring a hands-on skills-based training for you and your small business to go with it, to grow and to flourish. That's my goal. So thank you, Nicole, for being here. I appreciate it. I'm glad it was helpful. And I thank you. And I will see you guys all next week, 2 p.m. Eastern, Wednesday. Have a beautiful afternoon, and we'll see you soon. Now I get to reach down and figure out where the end button is. Welcome to live unscripted trainings.